Hello everyone. In today's class, we will see some questions based on limits, continuity, and differentiability. Practice questions from 1 to 11. The images used in our slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathi@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. Let's start with question number 1. It says, for each t belongs to real, let this t be the greatest integer less than or equal to t, right? That means this sign is greatest integer function less than or equal to t. Then you have to find the value of limit extending to 0 plus x into greatest integer function of 1 by x plus greatest integer function of 2 by x till greatest integer function of 15 by x, right? You have 10 seconds to solve this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution. Okay, let's move to the solution part. See, first, the hint of this question is greatest integer function is always an integer, right? And x can be written as greatest integer function of x plus fractional part of x, right? Just like 2.3. If we have 2.3, then it can be written as 2 plus 0.3. Here 2 is greatest integer, where 0.3 is fractional part, right? So a number can be represented as sum of greatest integer function plus sum of fractional part of function, right? And we have to find limit extending to 0 plus. Clear? That means if this is 0, then we have to find the value where a function is approaching the 0 from right hand side, right? Okay, so let's move to the solution part. See, limit extending to 0 plus x greatest integer function of 1 by x plus greatest integer function of 2 by x till greatest integer function of 15 by x. We know that greatest integer function of x is basically x minus fractional part of x. Clear? As we have discussed. So greatest integer function of 1 by x can be written as 1 by x minus fractional part of 1 by x. Clear? Similarly, greatest integer function of n by x can be written as n by x minus fractional part of n by x, right? So greatest integer function of 1 by x can be written as 1 by x minus 1 by fractional part of 1 by x plus 2 by x minus 2 by x fractional part of 2 by x till 15 by x minus fractional part of 15 by x, right? Now, see, it can be written as, see, it is x into 1. If you take 1 by x plus 2 by x plus 3 by x till 15 by x. So x into 1 by x plus 2 by x plus 3 by x till 15 by x. So x and x will cancel out, right? So we are left with 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 till 15 minus x times fractional part of 1 by x plus fractional part of 2 by x till fractional part of 3 by x, right? Now, we have to find x tending to 0 plus. So if x tending to 0 plus, this whole term will be 0. Clear? Because 0 into something is 0. And this is 1 plus 2 plus 3 till 15, which is n into n plus 1 by 2. 15 into 16 by 2, which is 15 into 8, which is 120. So 120 minus 0 is 120. Clear? We have applied the formula. Fractional part of n by x is from 0 to 1. Therefore, x into fractional part of n by x will be 0 to 1. Therefore, limit x tending to 0 plus x into fractional part of n by x is basically 0. Clear? Okay, so answer is equal to 120. Clear? Option C is the right choice. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question number 2. It says limit extending to infinity x square plus 5x plus 3 upon x square plus x plus 2 to the power x is equal to. See, when you see this question, it is of the form 1 to the power infinity, right? Because when you take x square common from numerator and the denominator, it will be 1 plus 5 by x plus 3 by x square upon 1 plus 1 by x plus 2 by x square, right? And base part is basically 1 when you put x tending to infinity, and power is basically infinity. So it is of the form 1 to the power infinity, right? So what was the formula of applying 1 to the power infinity form? Clear? For example, uh, fx to the power gx, right? It was fx to the power gx, then and limit x tending to infinity, then it was e to the power gx into fx minus 1, right? Fx minus 1. Clear? So that was the formula to be applied, okay? So you have 10 seconds to solve this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution, right? Okay, let's move to the solution part C. As we have discussed, it is 1 to the power infinity form, right? So it can be written as limit x tending to 0, x tending to infinity, x squared plus 5x plus 3 upon x squared plus x plus 2 to the power x, right? Which is equal to limit x tending to infinity. It can be written as 1 plus 4x plus 1 upon x squared plus x plus 2 to the power x, clear? Which can be further simplified as limit x tending to infinity 1 plus 4x plus 1 upon x square plus x plus 2 to the power 1 by 4x plus 1 upon x square plus x plus 2 to the power 4x plus 1 into x, right, upon x square plus x plus 2, clear? So further it is 1 to the power infinity form, which can be written as e to the power limit x tending to infinity 4 plus 1 by x. We have taken x as common, right? 4 plus 1 by x plus upon 1 plus 1 by x plus 2 by x square, right? Which is basically when you put x tending to infinity, it is 4 e to the power 4 as answer, clear? Because we have applied the formula limit. We have applied the formula limit x tending to 0, 1 plus 1 by x to the power x is equal to e, clear? So answer is e to the power 4, clear? Option A is right choice. Let's move to the next question, question number 3. It says if alpha and beta are distinct roots of ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, then limit extending to alpha 1 minus cos ax square plus bx plus c upon x minus alpha square is equal to. You have 10 seconds to solve this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution. Okay, let's move to the solution part. See, here it is of the form 1 minus cos theta, right? So we know that when it is given in the form of 1 minus cos theta, we can apply the formula of cos 2 theta. What is the formula of cos 2 theta? 2 cos square theta minus 1, or 1 minus 2 sin square theta, right? So 1 minus cos 2 theta can be written as 2 sin square theta by 2, clear? So we will apply C, 1 minus cos ax square plus bx plus c upon x minus alpha square. So it can be applied as limit extending to alpha. C, 1 minus cos ax square plus bx plus c can be written as 2 sin square ax square plus bx plus c upon 2, clear? And in the denominator it is x minus alpha square. So limit extending to infinity, limit extending to alpha 2 sin square a by 2 x minus alpha into x minus beta, right? See, it can be written as ax square plus bx plus c can be written as a x minus alpha into x minus beta, right? Because alpha and beta are roots of ax square plus bx plus c, clear? Also, see, if it is a by 2, then as we know that sin x upon x limit extending to 0 sin x upon x is basically 1. So sin square x upon x square is also 1. That means sin square a by 2 x minus alpha into x minus beta. In the denominator, we can also write a by 2 square x minus alpha square into x minus beta square. But in the denominator, only x minus alpha square was there. So we have basically multiplied a by 2 square into x minus beta square. So we will multiply also a by 2 square into x minus beta square. Clear? Now see, this part will be this part will be basically 1. Clear? This part will be 1. So we are left with 2 into a square by 4 into x minus beta square. So 2 into a square by 4 means a square by 2. A square by 2 into x minus beta square. Clear? So our answer is a square by 2 into x minus beta square. Clear? So I think option D is right choice. Okay. Let's move to the next question. Question number 4. It says limit n tending to infinity sine pi root over n square plus 1 is equal to. So you have 10 seconds to solve this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution. Okay, let's move to the solution part. See, it is given that limit n tending to infinity sine n pi 1 plus 1 by n square to the power 1 by 2, right? See, we have taken n common, right? So it is equal to limit n tending to infinity sine n pi. See, we can write the extension of 1 plus 1 by n square to the power 1 by 2, which can be written as 1 plus 1 by 2 n square minus 1 by 8 n power 4 till infinity. Clear? Now it can be written as limit n tending to infinity sine n pi plus pi by 2n minus pi by 8n cube plus till infinity, which can be written as limit n tending to infinity minus 1 to the power n sine pi 1 by 2n minus 1 by 8n cube till infinity, right? See, since limit n tending to infinity, so this whole term, this is 0, this is 0, till whole term will be 0, right? So sine pi into 0 means sine 0. So sine 0 into whole term will be answer will be 0. Clear? So I think option B is the right choice. Okay, 0. Fine. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question number 5, which says if x greater than 0 and g is a bounded function, then limit n tending to infinity fx into e to the power nx plus gx upon e to the power nx plus 1 is equal to. So again, you have 10 seconds to solve this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution. Okay, let's move to the solution part. See, given it is given that x greater than 0 and g is a bounded function, right? Then limit x tending to limit n tending to infinity fx into e to the power nx plus gx upon e to the power nx plus 1. Clear? Now see, if we take e to the power nx common from the numerator and the denominator and cancel out this, we will get limit n tending to infinity fx. See, e to the power nx has been taken common, so fx upon 1 plus, see, e to the power nx is common, so it is 1 plus 1 by e to the power nx. Clear? Plus gx upon e to the power nx plus 1. Clear? Now see, if n tending to infinity, this term will be 1 by infinity, which is 0. Clear? And if n tending to infinity which is 0. Clear? And tending to infinity, this is infinite, right? So it is basically fx upon 1 plus 0 plus some finite thing upon infinity. Clear? Which is equal to fx, right? So option B is right choice. Fx. Clear? The value of limit extending to 0. Let's discuss next question. Question number 6, which says the value of limit extending to 0 a to the power x plus b to the power x plus c to the power x upon 3 to the power 2 by x, where a, b, c greater than 0 is. Again, see, if we put x equal to 0, it is 1 plus 1 plus 1 upon 3. And in the power thing, If we put x equal to 0, it is infinity. So again, it is of the form 1 to the power infinity, right? So we can apply the formula limit extending to 0 fx to the power gx. We can apply limit e to the power e to the power limit extending to 0 gx into fx minus 1, right? We can apply that formula. Okay, this was the hint of this question. Now you have 10 seconds to solve this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution. Okay, let's move to the solution part C. It is again 1 to the power infinity form. Clear? So let's take logs both side, right? So log y, you can apply that formula also, and you can take log both side also. So log y is equal to limit extending to 0 2 by x log a to the power x plus b to the power x plus c to the power x upon 3, right? Which is equal to 2 times limit extending to 0 log a to the power x log a to the power x. We have taken 2 as common, so and in the denominator it is x. See, log a to the power x plus log b to the power x plus log c to the power x minus log 3 upon x. See, now it is 0 by 0 form, right? So we can apply L'Hospital rule. Clear? So applying L'Hospital rule, we got 2 limit extending to 0 a to the power x log a plus b to the power x log a b plus c to the power x log c upon a to the power x plus b to the power x plus c to the power x, right? Because it is log a to the power x plus b to the power x plus c to the power x. So upon in the denominator it was x, so differentiation of x is 1, right? Now if we put x tending to 0, it is log a plus log b plus log c upon a plus b plus c. Clear? And it was log y. Log y is equal to log a b c. C log a plus log b plus log c will be log a b c to the power 2 by 3. Clear? And a to power x plus b to power x plus c to power x, when we put x equal to 0, it is 3. Clear? So 2 by 3 log ABC, which is equal to log ABC to the power 2 by 3. Clear? So now both side log and log will cancel out. So we will get y equal to ABC to the power 2 by 3. Clear? Okay. So let's move to the next question. Question number 7, which says, see, if fx is equal to cot inverse 3x minus x cube upon 1 minus 3x square and gx is equal to cos inverse 1 minus x square upon 1 plus x square, then limit extending to a fx minus gx, fx minus fa upon gx minus ga, where a is between 0 to 1 by 2 is equal to. You have 10 seconds to solve this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution. Okay, see, the hint of this question is, see, we can put the value of fx and gx, right, which will be cot inverse this thing minus cos inverse minus fa, right? And a is from 0 to a. Clear? So we will put fx and minus fa upon gx minus ga, right? So let's solve this question. See, fx is equal to cot inverse 3x minus x cube upon 1 minus 3x square, and gx is cos inverse 1 minus x square upon 1 plus x square. Now on putting x equal to tan theta in both equations, we will get f theta is equal to cot inverse 3 tan theta minus tan cube theta upon 1 minus 3 tan square theta. So f theta is equal to cot inverse tan 3 theta. Clear? So this is the formula of tan 3 theta, as we all know this. Clear? So it can be written as f theta is equal to cot inverse cot pi by 2 minus 3 theta. Clear? Which is equal to pi by 2 minus 3 theta, because cot inverse cot some angle is equal to the value of the angle, right? Now f dash theta is equal to minus 3, which is equation 1. Now let's calculate g theta. So cos inverse, we have put x as tan theta. So cos inverse 1 minus tan square theta upon 1 plus tan square theta, right? So 1 minus tan square theta upon 1 plus tan square theta is basically cos 2 theta, as we all know this. So cos inverse cos 2 theta is equal to 2 theta, right? So now g dash theta is equal to 2. Clear? Because g theta is equal to 2 theta. Now limit extending to a fx minus fa upon gx minus ga is equal to limit extending to a fx minus fa upon x minus a into 1 upon limit extending to a gx minus ga upon x minus a. Clear? It can be written as like this. We have divided and multiply x minus a, right? Like in the numerator also, in the numerator also we have divided x minus a, and in the denominator also we have divided x minus a. Clear? Now see, this thing is basically, see, limit extending to a fx minus fa upon x minus a is basically f dash a, right? And this thing, limit extending to a gx minus ga upon x minus a is basically g dash a. Clear? So f dash a into 1 by g dash a. Clear? So minus 3 into 1 by 2, which is minus 3 by 2. Clear? Right. So option D is right choice, minus d by 2. Okay. Now let's move to the next question. Question number 8, which says if f r2r is a function defined by fx is equal to greatest integer function of x cos 2x minus 1 by 2 pi, where this thing denotes the greatest integer function, then f is equal to. Clear? So you have 10 seconds to solve this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution. Okay, let's move to the solution part C. Now cos x is continuous. We know that cos x is continuous for all x belongs to real. This implies cos. See, this is x minus 1 by 2. This implies cos pi x minus 1 by 2 is also continuous for all x belongs to real. Hence, the continuity of f depends upon the continuity of greatest integer function of x, which is discontinuous for all x belongs to I. So, we should check the continuity of f at x equal to n for all n belongs to I. So, left hand limit at x equal to n is given by f n minus is equal to limit extending to n minus fx. Clear? Which is equal to limit extending to n minus greatest integer function of x cos pi x minus pi by 2. Clear? Which is equal to c. If x is tending to x minus n minus x tending to n minus, then greatest integer function of x is basically n minus 1, right? Clear? So it will be n minus 1 cos 2n minus 1 pi by 2. C. Cos of some odd multiple of pi by 2 is 0. Clear? So it is 0. Now it is left hand limit. Left hand limit of this is becoming 0. Now let's check for right hand limit at x equal to n is given by f n plus is basically limit n tending n plus fx, which is equal to limit x tending to n plus greatest integer function of x cos pi x minus 1 by 2. Right. Now x tending to n plus greatest integer function of x is basically n, right? And cos 2n minus 1 pi 2n minus 1 by 2n minus 1 pi by 2, which is 0, because cos of odd multiple of pi by 2 is basically 0. Also, the value of the function at x equal to n is basically fn is equal to greatest integer function of n cos pi n minus 1 by 2. So fn is basically n cos 2n minus 1 pi by 2, which is 0. So fn plus is equal to fn minus equal to fn. Hence, f is continuous at x equal to a for all n belongs to I. Clear? So I think option A is right choice. Continuous for every real x. Clear? Okay, let's move to the next question. Question number 9, which says let f be a composite function of x defined by fu is equal to 1 by u square plus u minus 1 and ux is equal to 1 by x minus 1. Then number of points x where f is discontinuous is. So you have 10 seconds to solve this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution. Okay, let's move to the solution part C. See, this ux is function given by ux is equal to 1 by x minus 1. It is as we know this, it is discontinuous at point 1. Clear? The function. So we have to basically check the number of points x where f is discontinuous. Clear? So 1 point we have got. Now let's check for next point. Fu is basically y is equal to fu is basically 1 by u square plus u minus 2, right? Now u square plus u minus 2 can be written as u plus 2 into u minus 1. It is discontinuous at u is equal to minus 2 and u equal to 1. right? Now let's check when u is equal to -2. So see, u function is this one, right? U function is this one. So when u equal to -2, let's check when u equal to -2. So 1 by x minus 1 is equal to -2, right? So after solving, we will get x is equal to 1 by 2, clear? And when u is equal to 1, so 1 by x minus 1 is equal to 1. So we got x equal to 2. Hence, the composite function y equal to fx is discontinuous at 3 points. And 3 points are basically 1 by 2, 1 and 2. Clear? 1 by 2, 2 and 1. So there are 3 points on which this function is discontinuous. Clear? So option B is right choice, 3 points. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question number 10, which says if f is a function from R to R, be a positive increasing function with limit x tending to infinity, f of 3x upon fx is equal to 1, then limit x tending to infinity, f of 2x upon fx is equal to 2 is equal to what? So the hint of this question that you can apply sandwich theorem, right? Clear? In sandwich theorem, we know that if a, b, c, limit x tending to 0, b is something, suppose z, and limit x tending to 0, c is something z, then limit x tending to 0, a will also be z, right? So we can apply sandwich theorem here, right? Okay, you have 10 seconds to solve this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution. Okay, see, since fx is a positive increasing function, we know this. Fx is a positive increasing function, we know 0, fx, 0 is, fx is greater than 0, f2x is greater than fx, and f3x is greater than f2x. So let's divide by fx throughout, right? So 0 greater than 1 greater than f2x by x greater than f3x by x, clear? So limit x tending to infinity 1 less than equal to greater than less than equal to limit x tending to infinity f of 2x upon fx greater than equal to limit x tending to infinity f of 3x. So by sandwich theorem, see, this limit is given as given already 1, right? See, 1, and this is actually 1. So limit x tending to infinity f of 2x upon fx will also be 1, clear? So I think option A is right choice, 1. Got it? Let's move to the next question, question number 11, which says let fx is equal to maximum of 10x sin x and cos x, where x belongs to minus pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2, then number of points of non-differentiability is. So the hint of this question is we can draw the graph of 10x sin x cos x, right? And we can see the number of points where corner thing is taking place, right? Okay, so you have 10 seconds to solve this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution. Okay, so see, we have fx equal to maximum of tan x sin x cos x, where x belongs to minus pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2. So let us draw the graph of y is equal to tan x sin x and cos x in minus pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2. So we have drawn the graph. See, from the graph, if it is clear that fx is differentiable, not non-differentiable at x equal to 0, pi by 2 and pi. See, 0 is maximum. We want to take maximum thing, right? So see, this is corner point. Maximum thing is this one, right? Clear? Pi by 2. Pi by 2 is also corner point, and pi is also corner point. See, after this, it will go like this. So pi is also corner point. Clear? So 3 points at which it is non-differentiable. Okay. Okay. So I think option B is right choice. Fine. Okay. Thank you.